What's up, man?
What's up? Hey, seeing you, Tyler.
You too. Long time no see. Besides all the Zoom calls.
You know what, though? There's something to be said about meeting in person, right?
Absolutely.
Because we've got the Zoom calls, and then you have the WhatsApps and the texting and groups and stuff, but you just don't really get what we get when you're just interacting one-to-one.
Now, so one of the things I want to talk about is when you're like the king of conferences, right? You walk around here, it took us 20 minutes just to stop and say hi to everybody because you're always networking.
Yeah.
What I wrote about in Tech with Ty last week was the value of education. I think agents should never stop learning. I said it was sad to me to see Jared James' video only getting 4,500 views, in the first, 24, 48 hours when there's almost 2 million agents.
Right.
So when you go to a conference, tell me a little bit about what do you try to take away? What is your kind of game plan when you go to something?
I mean, it's a loaded question right there, right? But I agree with you on the always learning part, right? There's a reason why it's called continuing education. We have to continuously update our licenses. And there's a reason for it because things are always changing. We are in charge of people's big value assets, and there's contracts involved. So you have to learn that side of things, right? But then as a business person, as your own business, actually, you have to learn about how to promote yourself, how to run yourself. And I think there's no one right way to do it. So when you say that I'm the king of these conferences, it's because I want to network with anybody and everybody, right? Because I think I see different perspectives from everybody, right? How many times do I talk to somebody and then I'll come to you and ask you your opinion on it?
Sure.
Then I'll go to somebody else and ask their opinion on it so that I can formulate myself what works best for me. But if you're not out and about talking about that, because networking is not always about, hey, here's my business card. Think of me if you think of Houston, right?
Right.
That's not networking. Networking is like literally tell me what you're doing, what's going on with your life, what's going on with your business. And so I think that's why I do this. I've always joked around with you about I'm not the smartest guy or the most hardworking guy out there, but I'm really good at meeting people, understanding, listening to them, and then implementing it my way.
Well, and we just, on the way over here, the video idea.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, literally, you talked about a video idea. I'm like, wow, I want to go take that back. And then we met another agent who just did that with a newsreel, right? So it just reinforces things that you could be doing to better yourself.
Well, I think too, it's great that we're going to go into this room here in 10 minutes and get to network and talk with other brokers with a very structured topic, right?
Right.
But I think for me at least, and I think for you, there's so much conversation that happens outside of the conference rooms.
1,000%. Here, I'll give you a quick example of one. It involves you. Last year at Broker Owner Conference, one of my really good friends, John Armstrong, one of the top guys in our network, and then you're one of the top guys in the network, I introduced you to get together and talk about something. He went to the conference with a purpose of learning about tech.
Right.
I introduced you to because you're such a genius at it, and you've been doing it for so long. And he got more out of that conversation than he got out of the whole conference.
And we were just sitting at the bar.
Sitting at the bar, exactly.
And it was like, hey, I'm not going to the tech one because that's my thing.
Yeah.
And he stopped and he was like, that was the best 20 minutes I think I spent at this.
Right, exactly.
And I've had so many of those aha moments that, from sitting with you, sitting with John, sitting with Charlie. And I think once you start networking like that, picking the brain of, hey, what's working? And for agents too, what's working for you marketing-wise?
Right. I think also what people don't realize is that it's okay to be in a copycat league, right? Because
100%.
we're all in different markets,
right?
Completely different markets. So when you come out here and you just hang out with the same people that you're, especially if you're an agent, right? You just hang out with your company or people that you know in Texas only and all that. Why? Get to know the people in California or Ohio or, Utah or New York.
Sure.
And see what they're doing, what works. Heck, I know I'm known for a lot of my social media silliness, right? But I get a lot of ideas from people outside of Texas.
For sure.
It's okay. It works in my community that way too.
Well, and Donna, one of my brokers that was, I think, on a call with you guys, she networks the hell out of R4.
Yeah, she
does. And I think did like $3 million in commission last year, $3 million in sales just from networking.
Just from networking.
And referrals from within RE/MAX.
Absolutely. Now, if we want to go that route, I had a Lockie out of Chicago. I had a social media, which she was actually on too.
Yeah.
That was the one that we were on that call. So we were talking about referrals, right? And, I ran the numbers, and last year, 2023, I had 48 referrals only from the RE/MAX people. I'm not even talking about outside referrals, other agents that I meet at other places, but 48 referrals from RE/MAX agents around the country. And it's literally because I want to go out there and meet people and they want to meet us. You
Yeah.
know? So
No, I think moral of the story is, go to conferences. Go, whether it's, your company conference or if it's an Inman or, whatever it is, get out there and network. You're going to learn from the people that are there doing the same thing that you're doing, and start making more contacts.
For sure. Don't you feel a little bit more confident as well after you go to a conference? Because sometimes you're unsure, at least for me.
Sure.
Sometimes I'm unsure of what I'm doing.
Right.
And then I come here and talk to you or John or Charlie or something, and y'all basically reiterate what y'all are doing is the same thing I'm doing. And I feel like,
we all go through the same struggles.
Yeah.
So I think agents are the same way.
Absolutely.
And so having that sounding board to talk through it makes a lot of sense.
And, that's the key, right? Sounding board, because you have a ton of ideas. Right? When you're in this business or when you're in business for yourself, you have a ton of ideas. You want to wear all these different hats, but having that sounding board of people that are going to give you a different perspective, but then they'd be able to say, hey, listen, I tried that 2 years ago. It didn't work. Here's the reason why.
Right.
Change this up. Or, hey, listen, I haven't tried that, but maybe add this to it instead. I just think it's phenomenal. The resources of people is amazing. So,
well, and two, I think it's easy to get overwhelmed by conferences because you a lot of times come with a lot of excitement of, hey, I'm going to hang out with people I know, or we're going to go drinking afterwards, whatever. But you also go in, maybe there's a motivational speaker that really gets you jazzed up.
Right.
And afterwards you're like, oh, where'd all that excitement go? I'm not going to implement anything. So my goal when I get to conferences is always to take one or two things that I can implement in my business when I get back. And those are the only two things I'm going to focus on. All the other stuff, I'll put it on a list. But those are the two things that I try to do.
I think that's probably the smartest thing that anyone can do to come at a conference. Somebody told me this a long time ago, because I used to take notes and notes and notes.
Yeah.
If you go to my house or my office right now, you'll see like things from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, just filled. Never looked at it again.
Nope.
It's just overwhelming.
Right.
But what you just said, 1 to 2 nuggets. So now I don't take notes at these conferences.
Yeah.
I'll have my phone on me.
Sure.
And I listen and I actually pay attention to what's going on. And then that one nugget that hits me, I'll put that into my note on my phone, and that's it. Because I know I'm going to look at that.
Yeah.
And then one more thing maybe at the next meeting or something like that. But if you can do that, then you actually do go home and implement besides feeling overwhelmed.
Well, here's your tech tip for the day, because I'm going to try it in 501.
Oh, here we go. I love tech tips from Ty.
I'm going to use the Notes app, iOS. And use the transcription. It's going to automatically summarize everything for me.
That's what I want to see work.
I want to try it.
So it was just last week at my office. I was like, guys, we've been doing so many trainings and so many things. Why aren't we doing this? And I told them, I'm sitting here telling my staff, and my staff's looking at me for help. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to see Tyler next week. So let me figure it out with Tyler there, So that's going to be fun to do. It's cool.
Let's go see how that works. But thank you guys for watching.
Yep. See ya.